Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Masters of the Universe Revelations Part 2, Episode 3. It's titled The Gutter Rat. I'm a little conflicted by this episode because, when I reviewed the first two episodes, I gave it some praise because they're starting to, write better stories and more interesting stories than what they did in the first part. And they made Tila less annoying and stuff in the second part, which I still praise for that. Because her in the first season, not even really the first season, the first part just got on my nerves and stuff like that. Because like I said before, it's not a male versus female thing. It's simply put, this is a show that's supposed to be about He-Man. At least that's what people assume. When you think of Masters in the Universe, you think of He-Man first and everybody else second. And so when they made the huge focus to being Tila in the first part, that irritated a lot of people, and rightfully so. Some people took their anger out a little bit more online, but hey, you know what I'm saying? It's just like if you were to make a She-Ra type show, but instead of focusing on her, you focus on somebody completely different, you know what I'm saying? And so and then as I'm watching this episode, I'm starting to realize, because not to sound like the fandom menace, something like that, but you have to admit, in modern day television nowadays, men and women are written completely different. Women are written to be this huge over empowering thing, while men are made to look like idiots or always feeling sorry for themselves. And in the third episode, they started doing that crap again from the first part. And it's I thought, I was hoping they would get away from that. But, hey, it's Kevin Smith's gonna trick us once. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't be all that surprised and stuff. And so in this episode, I just started noticing they just started piling on the ill will of men and stuff like that. Constantly. And it's just I don't get why they doing that. Adam, King Randor, they just kept, it was like a pity party for them. And then Skeletor, my God, really? Really? After all that, and after being inside that little bubble thing, learning the powers of the universe, that what happens to him? You gotta be kidding me. But the ending was pretty interesting, and I like that, I have to say. But yeah, so originally I was gonna do just a rundown review, because there's only 2 episodes left. But after seeing this third episode, I had to address my frustration with the writing of this episode, because it's pointless and stuff. I don't understand why they keep doing that. And so this show, for the most part, isn't an action show. It's just an animation drama, which I'm not really into animation dramas and stuff. The only one I ever really liked was Death Note. That was really cool, you know what I'm saying? But when I watch animation for one or two things. I'll either watch a comedy animation from back in the day, because I want to laugh, or I'll watch an action thing, like a superhero type thing. But I'm not really into drama animation, which is why I don't like the direction Young Justice went in once they started going to DC Universe and HBO Max. But let's talk about this. So in this episode, it piggybacks off of what happened in the last episode. King Randor and Adam, they're hugging and everything. And so this is the part that first started irritating me. King Randor's all "Oh, Adam, I'm so sorry. I never told you how great you are as a son." And then Adam's all "I'm so sorry, Dad. I never told you I was He-Man." So then Tila's finna apologize for how she acted all first season. But before she can even say she's sorry, King Randor stopped her and told her, "You was justified in the way you act." No, she's not. She was just friends with Adam, found out that he's a superhero, her other best friend, and then she had a huge hissy fit. She had a hissy fit throughout the entire first part, to the point where she abandoned the castle and everything. Everything she worked hard for, trying to be a man of arms, finally got to be that, just for her to have a hissy fit and leave. She hated her dad, she hated Adam, she hated the king, she hated everybody. And it's just she's not justified. Now, King Randor, how he reacted when he banished Man of Arms, in some ways, yeah, he was justified because Adam is his legit son. His legit son went into harm's way in every day and could have died, and he never knew that. So he was right for being pissed, and he was right for being upset at his wife. But okay, before we even knew that, so like his wife comes back, the queen. I forget her name. I gotta say, for the queen, the voice actress, even though I like her, she's not sounding the way she's drawn. Some people in this show aren't sounding the way they're drawn. Even Mark Hamill, like, it's weird hearing his Joker voice for Skeletor. It just doesn't sound right for some reason. Because Skeletor has a very distinct voice from two different animated shows. So anyway, she comes in and she's happy to see Adam, but she gives her husband like the look. I'm just like, gee, even she pissed off at her husband. Why is she pissed off at her husband? And so before we can even find out why she's pissed off, then like King Randor, he sees Audra. I finally found out her name. I forgot. So Tila's friend Audra. They tell like, you know, King Randor how like she helped and everything to bring Adam back and all this other stuff and the people they fought in the first part. And so he's very thankful for that. And so I totally understand that. But then he's all like, you know, and I even understand when he would say like, you know, I'm in your debt and stuff like that. That's what the kings do, you know what I'm saying? We see that tons of times on television. But then he basically bows his head to her and is all like, anything you want, I'll give you. I'm like, seriously, dude? You just met this girl, you found out she helped your son, and now you're willing to give her anything? Anything? And so the only thing she wants is just be part of the family and stuff and live amongst everybody else. Well, he tells her, this ain't the castle. This is like, we're gonna go to war. This is the outpost. And since she's a warrior, he wants her to fight in his army. That makes sense. But he straight up makes her a lieutenant. She doesn't earn that right. She didn't earn that right. She doesn't deserve that right. Like, he barely knows her. Just because Tila likes her and stuff don't mean nothing. Like, how does he know he can trust her? How does he know she's not gonna cower away? And then not only that, but it's kind of like there are other people in his army that have been there for years, fought by his side, who would love to be a lieutenant, and she gets made one in like a couple of seconds. What kind of crap is that? What kind of message is that? That's not going to teach young kids, especially young girls, that, hey, if you're friends with like somebody, you'll automatically get bumped up to CEO. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work that way. Now, if you're friends with somebody, then yeah, they can get you working on that job. That's pretty much how people find jobs nowadays. Like, people, it's not the old, if you apply for a job, you ain't going to get it. You have to know people nowadays. And so that made sense for her to fight in his army because she's a warrior and stuff. And Tila trusts her, but she doesn't earn the position of lieutenant. So that made no sense. So then Adam, he talks to his mom and he finds out why she's pissed at the father. And I understand why she's pissed. He blamed her for knowing Adam's secret and she never told him. And so like, that caused like a strain in their relationship, but then once they started to reconcile, she started to resent him and hate him and thought about leaving him. That's really dramatic. And she was even thinking about going back to Earth. Now, that was a nice nod to the original series, that his mom is actually from Earth. But it's kind of like, dude, I understand why he was angry, you know what I'm saying? But he didn't leave his wife and he didn't banish his wife, but because he was pissed at her, she's like, well, I'm gonna leave you. What kind of weird mess is that? Now, you could teach young girls that when you're in an abusive relationship, when the man keeps beating on you or cheating on you, yeah, you need to leave. But it's just like when you have an argument, you shouldn't have to leave after that. Like, what kind of writing is this crap? And so Tila is talking to Adam because now Adam feels sorry for himself. Now Adam blames himself for his parents like about to like break up and everything. So that's more of a pity pattern for a pity party like for him and everything. It's like, dude, This man has never felt good about himself in this entire series. In the first half, when he was dead, he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry for never telling you my secret and making you feel this way." Make the man happy. He shouldn't have to feel sad and sorry for himself. And then so Tila, she forgives him, but only half forgives him. She said, "You still shouldn't have kept that secret." Well, if the sorceress told him to keep it, and he's a superhero, you ain't supposed to go and tell. But then he tells her, "I got another secret to tell you." And it sounded like he was going to tell her he loves her, but then she's all like, "I know, like my mom is like the sorceress and blah blah." And she wasn't even pissed. She was pissed when she found out her best friend was her other best friend, but she wasn't pissed when the woman who she fought side by side with and trusted didn't even tell her, "Hey, I'm your mom." She said she's disappointed, but she wasn't pissed. And I'm just like, why weren't you as pissed off as you were with your own dad for keeping these secrets and stuff? Or Adam. I get it. She learned from the first part of the season. So she learned to like control her anger and everything. But it's just kind of weird how she hated the two guys, but then she's like, whatever, when female kept the secrets, I'm whatever. But so like, yeah, so she realizes she has powers and all this other stuff and all that mess. Now let's get some Skeletor type stuff and Evil Lynn. This was one of the most, this is the part that I liked about the episode. This was the interesting stuff. We get to find out so much more. Skeletor is still treating Evil Lynn like crap and everything. And everybody can see it and everybody can hear it in the castle and everybody lets her know that. Man at Arms tells her straight up, "I feel sorry for you and I pity you and everything because you're taking all this abuse from him, but yet he is your servant because you hold the power and you can take it away from him and stuff." And so like everybody's trying to get in her head, "Look, dude, you don't need him, move away from him. He's evil," but she can't do that because of her backstory with him and how they met. And then even Beastman, like he tells her straight up, which is funny. He tells her straight up, like, you need to be your own person and you need to be your own leader and you can lead and this and that. Which is funny because she told him the same thing last episode and he didn't want to hear it. So it's like, okay, so the man, when he knows he could be a leader, he doesn't want to be a leader, but he wants the woman who's a leader to be a leader. And it's just like, dude, stop stomping on men. I hate this crap. It's getting annoying. Like at first it was okay and everything and I understood, but now it's in like every show you watch and every movie and it's getting on people's nerves. And so like, then she tells Man Beast how she met Skeletor and why she'll never leave him. And her backstory was really interesting. Some part of it don't make no sense. So like, apparently she had these evil parents and she grew up poor and they ran out of food, so they wanted to eat her. Wow, that was really compelling. I wasn't expecting them to do that, so I give them props for that. That was very tragic. So she grew up in the gutters and hanging out with the rats, which is why this episode is called Gutter Rat, because Skeletor even called her that. And so then she grew up and she just started stealing like a little pickpocket and everything. And so when she got in trouble one day, she ran from these guys who she stole from. And then when she got cornered, somehow she conjured up her magic. It doesn't explain how she conjured her magic. It doesn't explain where her magic comes from. So if this show can do all this explaining for everything else, why couldn't they take a couple of seconds out to explain how she got her magic? So then Skeletor opens a portal, he scares the men away, and he takes her and he gives her power, and he teaches her how to be even more evil and stuff. So that's why she will never leave him, because he literally saved her life. And this origin is completely different from that of the 2002 series. Because the 2002 series is completely different from the 80s series. But I like the 2002 one slightly better. They explain when she gets her power. Her dad is this super uber like magical god-like being who's like confined to like his castle and stuff. And so she met Skeletor when Skeletor had to steal something, but she stole it from him. Well, they stole from one another, and they just became friends because of that. That's back when he was human looking. That Skeletor was human looking. And so I like that one a little bit more. This one, it doesn't even explain how she got her powers and stuff. And so Then she talks to Skeletor, and he wants to show her what his major plan is. He brings her inside that bubble. He's been in there for like hours, learning the secrets of like the universe, and the celestial apex is about to be formed. Basically, all the planets in the universe are about to be aligned, and he wants the power of the celestial apex because Itoria is supposed to be like in the center. And since he has the sword, he has the power, and he wants to rule all the universes and all the planets in the universe and like stuff like that. And so when she sees it, she sees how vast the universe is, but also how empty it could be and stuff. And that's like a little metaphor to what's going on between her and Skeletor. It's like, you know, she's empty inside. You know, she has all this vast, like, power and crap. But then he tells her his even bigger plan. He wants to use the Celestial Apex and the power to murder He-Man. So she makes fun of him. She's all like, that's it? That's what you want to do? That's your glorious plan and everything? Like, just to kill He-Man for like the umpteenth time and everything? You have all this power and you can do whatever you want, and that's the only thing you want to do? And it's such a typical villain 80s thing. They only want that one thing to do, and it's the dumb thing is just to kill the hero. And so I totally get why she made fun of him and stuff. But then this is the part that really pissed me off. So she decided, you know what, I'm gonna listen to everybody else. I ain't listening to Skeletor no more. I'm gonna be my own person. I can be bad all on my own. So she decides she's gonna get sword from Skeletor, but he has to depower first. And so she tricks him. And how does she trick him? With her feminine wiles. Sex. Basically, she tells him, hey, let's do it. And he's like, all right, let's do it right here now. But she's like, ooh, can't, because, you know, you're super powered right now. And you could, like, kill me by, like, me and stuff, you know? So, because of that, he powers down. As smart as Skeletor is, after being endowed with the power and the knowledge, after being inside that bubble, learning about the universe, he's able to be tricked by a sex proposition? Now, come on, writers. So then she tricks him, puts the sword onto his neck, which he has no neck. And he cowers in fear. After all who he is, he's literally trembling in fear. And then so she decides it's time for her to call on the power. And she does. And so he cowers into like a portal and leaves. And then when she transforms, of course, she's like big and muscular. Now, I don't have a problem with muscular women. Muscular women are like sexy. Like that one lady from TNA Impact, she's like I don't know what kind of champion she is. I forgot the title. She just became the inaugural champion of that title. It's like an intergender title. Jordana, is that her name? She's hot. Mother Russia from Kick-Ass Part 2. Check out her Instagram, Olga something. She's attractive. Like, women with muscles are hot, but animation wise, they just aren't. They made her too big and too bulky and stuff. Her face looks cool, but it's just her body is just weird because in animation, it doesn't always translate. So what happens? She decides she's gonna announce to the entire world and the underworld, and she's letting people know there's a new ruler of the universe. It's her. And basically, she lets all the people in the underworld know, hey, look, man, ain't no point in having you here. She kills every single last one of them and stuff. So everybody who's like in heaven and the underworld, stuff like that, they can't live there no more because now they've been wiped out of existence. Supposedly. Did she really do it? Who knows? This show is so tricky. So then that lets Adam and his family and them know that crap, dude, she killed all the people in the underworld. Is she really gonna kill them? And then when they die, they can't go to the underworld and stuff because there won't be an underworld left. And so Adam, King Randall, and the Queen, they're devising a plan, but none of them can figure out. Who figures it out? Teela. Teela realized, hey, the only way to beat a sorceress is with another sorceress. So now it's going back to the Teela show again. I'm just like, crap, dude. I thought y'all was getting away from that. in the first 2 episodes. But no, now they're going back to that. She was the only person to figure it out. She wants to fight her. Here's the thing. Adam even tells her, look, Evil Lynn's been a sorceress for years, decades, and you just now learned about your powers. How in the world are you going to beat her? But no, because she's Tila, she's going to be able to figure out a way. And it's like, she literally does not even know how to use her power, but now she thinks she can. So I'm just like, they had a perfect opportunity to build Tila up in the second part from her learning her powers and all this other stuff. But no, now she's going to use her powers in the next 2 episodes, the best Evil Lynn. And I'm just like, dude, this is not how you write heroes and stuff. This is not how you build people up. They had a perfect opportunity to make her into the new sorcerer. Why I keep wanting to say Sorcerer Supreme? See, that Doctor Strange stuff is all in my head, man. I can't wait for that Spider-Man movie to come out next month. But yeah, it's like, this is not how you write characters. This is how you degrade certain characters and build other characters up without no real build-up. And I hate when they do that crap. They always do this crap, and they do it a lot in the show. This is why I don't trust this show at full value. That's why I don't trust Kevin Smith. And it's like, you think one thing's going to happen, but then something else completely happens, and they turn it right back to the Tila show again. I hate that crap. Like, they've already now proven that Adam can Hulk up and turn into He-Hulk, which they call Savage He-Man on the show. I mean, he literally whooped on Skeletor, and he had the power. All they gotta do is unleash Adam and have him whoop on, like, Evil Lynn. I don't know what her name is now. I don't know. They didn't, I guess I'll find out in the next episode. But they could literally do that. And so why don't they do that? You know what I'm saying? And just put them two in the room together and boom, 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 boom. And then he could savagely rip her apart. So Tila doesn't have to be the hero of the show. Because it's like, if they want this to be the Tila show, they should have told people from the beginning. But of course they couldn't do that, because the Phantom Menace would have went nuts online, which they went nuts anyway when they found that out somehow. And so, like, that's the reason why they don't tell people, hey, this is the Tila show, because this is not the He-Man show. It's literally just the Tila show. And people did not want that. People wanted a show about He-Man. Like, people wasn't even thinking about He-Man until they brought this up. And people was all like, oh yeah, I remember He-Man. He was such a cool person. And then they got totally tricked and deceived. And it's kind of like, if they wanted to, they could. They got multiple stuff about He-Man now on Netflix. They got that little kid show that I still have not watched. If they really wanted to, they could have had 2 shows, one about He-Man and one about Tila. And they could have mixed both of them shows together and had them be like a continuation of each other. Like Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead. But no, they just like wanted to make this the Tila show. And Skeletor is an even bigger wimp than he's ever been before. Watch the 2002 series on YouTube. It's not perfect, but it's a whole lot better than the Netflix show. And, you know, it's like, one problem with them is that, like, they have all these characters and they don't really do nothing with them. So they lose character development because of that. And the action is okay in some parts and okay not, but the animation is great. And when they actually do origins, it's even cooler. And so, like, yeah. If you really want to watch like a guy I like to call a modern day He-Man show, just watch the 2002 series on YouTube. Somebody uploaded it. It's completely free. Yeah, a lot of people went to that series after the first part of the Netflix show came out. Anyway. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.